So it is a pandemic, but it's holiday time in Germany. And unlike here in Ghana, where we've partially opened up our schools, German schools are closed because they are on holidays. But then as the summer season kicks in, German Health Minister Jens Spahn has warned against negligence in dealing with the coronavirus pandemic, which could lead to a dreaded second wave of infection. Emmanuel Chase is correspondent with our partners DW. She is in Germany, from where she's connecting. Emmanuel, happy holidays to you ahead. But then governments fear that a second wave of the pandemic could occur. How does the government explain that? Why do they say so?
Well, there is a fear that the usual hotspots for Germans will become new clusters of infection. Flights within the European Union have resumed and they've picked up again. But we've seen large gatherings in places well loved by the Germans, such as Mallorca in the Balearic Islands, which prompted Health Minister Jens Spahn to warn people to remain vigilant. And as he said, where there are parties, and that's the case in Mallorca, the infection risk is particularly high. Now, all those places of holidays could potentially be new clusters if social distancing is not respected, even if stricter face mask wearing rules have been implemented on some of these holiday hotspots, such as Mallorca, where it is now compulsory to wear a mask in closed spaces. But not everyone is happy about having to wear a mask in those spaces, and there's also a fear that potential infections could be brought back to Germany and would start a new cluster there.
And that would be very worrying, given that Germany had to, move from the lockdown, to easing of the restriction, and then had to reimpose the lockdown in some parts of the country. But people may not really travel a lot abroad. How then are Germans, for example, spending their holidays this year?
Well, the German Travel Association confirmed indeed that bookings were dropping for abroad for favorite destinations such as Spain, Italy, Greece, the Canary Islands, the Balearic Islands I was mentioning before. Those bookings only represent a quarter of what they had been the previous year, yet they are picking up again. But there's a fear of the virus that plays a role in people's decision making when it comes to their holidays, and also there's the uncertainty and there's a lack of means, a lack of money. The fact that many people have been out of a job here as a result of the pandemic means that there's less money to spend on holidays, and we've seen a real shift of habits within the population. There's a trend showing that people prefer a vacation within Germany. There's been an increase of 62% in camping vans rentals, for example, and people also tend to prefer renting a holiday apartment instead of a hotel, for example. They want to be more autonomous, they want to be more isolated so as to avoid contact with other people, and as such so as to decrease the risk of infection.
I'm interested to find out what Ghanaians here think as well. I mean, vacation is not such a big thing as it is perhaps in Germany. But one of the things I thought to do this year was to, get to the German, the German area, if I could. But that's not going to be possible. Will tourists from abroad, I beg your pardon, be coming to Germany this summer?
There will be less international tourism, of course, even though the European Union as a whole has relaxed its entry restrictions. So Germany has applied that too. That means that people coming from countries with a low infection rate, as established by the Robert Koch Institute, which deals with the pandemic here in Germany, those people may enter the European Union. Again, that includes countries such as Australia, New Zealand, Canada. It doesn't include Ghana. For countries such as China, Japan, and South Korea, for example, interestingly, the entry restrictions will only be lifted if the lift is reciprocated, and that's not the case yet. Now, the question of whether travel to Germany is permitted depends on where the person traveling has previously been staying and not on their nationality.
Oh, interesting. How are you spending your holidays, by the way, Emmanuel?
I stayed in Germany, safe at home.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. We'll see how it all goes. Certainly not the same times as we know it. Emmanuel, thank you. Emmanuel Chase is political correspondent with our partners DW. She's joining me all the way from Germany, and we've been talking about what holidays or vacation moment will look like in a pandemic in Germany, where, of course, holidaying or vacationing is a big deal. This is still The Pulse with me, Gifty, and up here.